Hi everybody, I have some hot off the press information to share with you today. I was going to actually make this week's video about the appendix, but once I saw this on Tuesday, just a few days ago, all of a sudden the appendix seemed really boring. So I can't wait to share this information from you. This is a perspective paper from Korea University that came out entitled "Do an Altered Gut Microbiota and an Associated Leaky Gut Affect COVID-19 Severity?" So of course I had to share it with you. Now this was published in MBio, which is an open access journal published by the American Society for Microbiology. And in it, there are 3 key takeaways, and there's one specific thing that this article suggests that everyone can implement starting today. So I'm going to share what that is at the end. So I'm Ashley Oswald, registered dietitian and founder of Oswald Digestive Clinic, where we help people improve and eliminate bothersome gut issues like gas, bloat, diarrhea, and or constipation. You can work with us one of 2 ways. You can schedule a free 30-minute gut health call below if you want one-on-one personalized appointments and support, or you can join us in our Heal Your Gut course, which the link is also below with more information. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So I just want to put in a disclaimer that I do not want anybody watching this video to be triggered. Now, this is just information. It's not my opinion, and it's coming straight from this article. So you can look it up yourself. You can read it yourself. I'm not saying anything is set in stone fact. This is a hypothesis actually that I'm going to be sharing. So please also know that, and as we go through, I'm going to be making sure that that is understood as well, but it's still really interesting, and I think that you're going to enjoy learning about it. So please be open-minded that science is evolving. It's always changing, you know. It's not anything set in stone fact fiction, so please keep an open mind as we go through this hypothesis article. So I'm going to pull up the first image now, sharing the evidence behind this gut and COVID-19 severity connection. So as you can see here, we have the evidence on top, and then where further research is needed is in the green box and then that yellow box. And because I don't want this video to become terribly boring, if you are interested in reading all this, just pause your screen and read all the evidence in the blue boxes. I am just going to share the emerging idea here in the green of many patients with severe COVID-19 may have an altered gut microbiota and an associated leaky gut. So microbiota, that's that kind of whole community of bacteria and yeast and fungi, etc., mostly in the large intestine or the colon. So this leads to the theory that altered gut microbiota and leaky gut may act as a crucial effector on COVID-19 severity. And now all those numbers under the evidence are research that you can look up if you open and read this full article yourself, and the link is in the description. So next, I want to pull up the second image here to give a bit more information. So in the second image, this is basically just showing how that upper box there would be an inflamed leaky gut. And you can see the key on the top right. If you're science nerdy, you'll be interested in this probably. If you're not, it's cool. Keep watching, because at the end of the video, I'm really gonna bring it back home with the recommendation that I believe everybody is going to be able to grasp. So as you can see here, you have all these red and green rectangles, and those are the good and bad bacteria. And then those gray things, that's like the gut lining. So there's this thing called butyrate on the bottom one, just typed in words there, and that is a short-chain fatty acid that can be really helpful at healing and keeping the gut lining healthy. More on that later. So basically what this is showing is the top box is an unhealthy gut, the bottom box is a healthy gut with that nice healthy mucus lining, that pink there, as you can see, a lot more than on the top one, and that suspicion would be no leakage from the viral infection, and typically patients of young or those without underlying medical conditions, and then the top, the opposite, and then it's just showing how the top one could be what's leading to those organ issues, and then the bottom one less so. So something I want to mention here that many people don't know is that athletes actually have a higher prevalence of gut issues than non-athletes. So most people don't know that, and why I'm bringing that up is that most people think that athletes are kind of the picture of health, and certainly that can be true in many, many ways, but please also understand that some of these extreme athletics can be putting a lot of stress on the body in different ways, and they do tend to have a higher prevalence of gut issues. And then also, when we come back to that butyrate, and again, we'll be talking more about that, but I just want you to know that low butyrate, or that fatty acid that can help to keep the gut healthy, has been found in different conditions like inflammatory conditions and colorectal cancer and allergies and in Crohn's. So research does support that. And so that might just be interesting for you to know as we kind of dive into this third image here. Let me pull that up. So this image talks about what can be done. So there's some possible new testing that could be done for leaky gut to help give us some better research as to what might be going on here. And then also it shares what an inflamed leaky gut looks like, and then what a healthy gut, healthy microbiota, that kind of combination of the bacteria and viruses and yeasts and etc. look like. So in an inflamed gut, there's that thin mucus layer, reduced tight junctions between the gut cells, and then increased kind of pathogens, reduced beneficial bacteria, and thus that's what the suspicion is, that SARS-CoV-2 may leak into circulation. Whereas a healthy gut, which they're saying could be better prevention and management of COVID-19, is a thicker mucus layer, increased tight junctions between the cells, reduced opportunistic pathogens, so reduced bad bugs that could likely cause issue, and then increased beneficial bacteria, including those butyrate producing bacteria. And so SARS-CoV-2 may not leak into circulation. So then they're talking about some possible interventions. And before I hop there, I just want to explain a little bit more, what is butyrate? So butyrate, and you've maybe heard me talk about this on other videos, is this short-chain fatty acid that is produced when certain bacteria in our large intestine consume foods like that are high in soluble fiber, resistant starch. It takes that fuel and it produces short-chain fatty acids, one of the most notable being butyrate, because of its really powerful anti-inflammatory effects and ability to help to keep that gut lining, those cells, nice and healthy, and to even help to heal leaky gut or intestinal permeability. And so the fact that this article is talking about how a higher amount of those bacteria producing butyrate, and with people likely giving those bacteria the fuel it needs to produce that butyrate, could provide better prevention. And thus the possible interventions include fecal microbiota transplantation. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically taking stool from a healthy individual and putting it into somebody whose gut bacteria are not as healthy. Now this is only approved for C. diff right now, which is a really severe kind of infection that can come up many times, and there's guidelines for how it can be approved. So in the past, they would do a small kind of like a feeding tube through the nose down into the intestines, and basically make the stool mixture from a healthy donor, make sure it doesn't have a lot of pathogens in it, basically make sure it's a good fit through the screening process and then put into another individual. So there's just, mostly this is in its research infancy. Right now, not approved for a lot of clinical use at this time. And then there's also things called capsules now, which is like a much better way of doing this instead of having to put a feeding tube down. It's basically the stool in a capsule. So a capsule, and the person can just swallow that. So fecal transplants, again, that's not something you can just go to the pharmacy or ask your doctor for. So we're gonna have to skip over that for now, but they're just saying that's a possible intervention. The next one they mention is next generation probiotics with butyrate producers. So that big long word that you saw in one of those graphs, the I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce this properly, but Faecalibacterium pronsnitzi. Basically that one can be the one that we could at some point have probiotics that you can buy and take to help increase the prevalence of those in your gut. That's not available quite yet, so that leads us with the third option, and this is the option that you can start implementing today, and that's increasing dietary fiber intake. So like I mentioned, the soluble fiber and the resistant starch, that's going to be food for these bacteria that are going to be the higher butyrate producers. Now, the really cool thing, and a lot of people don't know this, is that when you change the foods that you eat, so maybe say 1 week you're used to eating a lot of sugar and kind of more processed food, less color, and then you decide this is the week I'm going to start to change it around, and this week you eat a lot more real whole foods, kind of like what your grandparents would eat, what you'd find at the farmer's market. Now, when you do that transition, your gut microbiota will actually change within 24 hours, if you can believe it. So within a day or two of you changing your eating, you're going to change the type of bacteria in your microbiota. So that's a really cool thing, because it could be that when you change to eating a lot more soluble fiber resistant starch, you might just naturally get more of this bacteria that's going to produce the butyrate, because now you're giving them the food that they need to do that and to survive. So your next question probably is, all right, cool, Ashley, but what the heck is soluble fiber and resistant starch? Like, what foods have that? And so firstly, green bananas are a great source of resistant starch. You can just add a half to a whole one of those in a smoothie. You can do beans and lentils, which is a really great source of fiber, and especially that soluble fiber. So you can make some bean lentil soups, put it on your tacos. I mean, so many options for beans and lentils, and a really affordable way to get in more soluble fiber to feed these bugs to produce that butyrate to help heal that gut lining or keep it healthy. Now, another one would be like raw oats. You can do overnight oats. Just Google some recipes if you don't know what I'm talking about there. Or you can do oat energy balls. And again, you can just Google some recipes. Lots will come up. We even have some on our Oswald Digestive Clinic Pinterest page. And then apples are a great source of soluble fiber. You can do a cold potato salad, which has a type of resistant starch that forms from the heating of the potatoes and then the cooling of the potatoes, and so much more. Now, there are supplements where you can just supplement with butyrate, but honestly, I would really suggest doing the food form, because you're gonna get so many more other benefits from the food than you would from simply taking a butyrate supplement. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Please subscribe. We have a new video every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And again, if you're interested in a free gut health call or our Heal Your Gut course, both the links are below. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Bye.